situations call for different kinds of solutions. So as parents and as people who have tried and tested various methods, we can all have a good discussion about this, and we'll just go through a few points that we think is good for generally, and then we can have a discussion, and all of you can share your inputs as well. So let's get started. Yeah. So
Hi.
is the
Hi.
yeah.
So as Vijayshri said, so today like me and her are co-hosting the session. So and like she said, we are basically going to talk about like the challenges that we are facing today as parents and things around like the digital age, the amount of exposure children get, and generally the goal of this session is for us to be more aware and then discuss like practical strategies and things that some of us have tried and tested, and the others we can learn from each other. So that's the idea of the session.
So we would like this to be more of a discussion, and we'll just go through a few slides and for a few points together. But then after that, we would really like to open up and have your experiences. Love to hear your experiences and what you have tried over the years as parents. Yeah. So, Preeti, will you start or should?
Sure. Okay. So basically, like these days, everything is digital, right? Like so for kids, it is their entertainments on a device. They are sometimes educations on a device. They are playing on a device. So basically, all this leads to so much excess of screen time. And this amount of exposure to screen time, the blue light and all that is like affecting their sleep, affecting their attention span. They don't have attention span, and then their eyesight, all of this gets affected. And because they do everything on the device, these kids now want to play video games. They don't want to go out and play outside. They don't want to go play in the park. They don't want to do any outdoor games. And this is causing them to have less physical activity. This also like leads to less creativity, and all of this. There is like also the risk of addiction, right? Like around wanting to watch shows, wanting to play these video games and all those. So that's basically the challenge as during the digital era that we are facing. When we grew up, we didn't have this much of digital things around.
Absolutely. And and everything, we are exposing kids. I mean, and I wouldn't say we, but then kids are exposed to things so much earlier than what probably we did. There is, of course, the medium of television and cinema that continues to exist, but then there's also internet, and also the various exposure, that I mean different kinds of exposure that internet brings in various ways. So there's social media, there's so many things that are there now which weren't there before. And so we need to be like, of course we should cut down screen time, that goes without saying. But even if we uh, allow them to watch screen, and we they do watch screen, it's not possible to take it away 100%. But what kids watch is very important. And a lot of us have been, of course, guilty of giving mobile phones just to let them keep them quiet for a while. And that should not be the ideal use. It should not be playing the babysitter when we are busy. Um, and of course we know all this, it's much harder to implement. So I would say that whenever, even if we watch screen, and as a family, as people around, uh, we should try and watch content which is of good quality, which is child friendly in a way, which is family friendly or child friendly. And of course we should, when everybody is there, of course adults will have probably some time when they can watch whatever they want. But then as uh, around a child, we have to be constantly uh, aware of what goes. um, and instead of totally saying that no, you shouldn't watch XYZ, we have to, okay, let me sit and watch with you. Is it appropriate? Is that so we can be guides instead of just telling that no, you should watch, you shouldn't do this, because that never works. Everybody, kids grow up to be rebellious. They will find when you are not there and will want to watch at that time, or they will find that very loving family member or grandparent, and let them allow who will allow them to watch. So instead of taking those ways out, banning anything, even junk food, is not a great idea, because then when you ban something, there is that whole thing of the curiosity increases. So instead of banning, we guide. And there should be some places which should be completely device free, that this is your bedtime, no devices at this time. This is your dinner time, there is no device at this time. So there has to be, or whatever, you can define that time for yourself. So what this is your homework, this is your study time, uh, do not use a device at this time. So there has to be very clear instructions that this time is sacred and we don't use device at this time. For example, if you're going to you're doing your prayers or something like that, or something which is very serious in nature, we know that we shouldn't be looking at our phones or looking at screens at that time. So similarly, we set those rules for children. And I think very, very important is, when we are engaged, even as people, not just children, but when we are engaged, we will automatically find less time for screen or social media. So when we are gainfully employed, like we are doing something, we are learning an actual skill, an actual hobby, or doing something which is really important, we don't really think about, okay, what is going on in Facebook, or what's going on uh, in some YouTube channel. So we need to encourage offline hobbies. They could be done at home, they could be in the form of classes. So being physically engaged automatically cuts down screen time. That applies to adults and other people as well, not just kids. So when we are continuously learning something, when we are continuously engaged in something, we automatically will find that, okay, I have less time for screen. And in the night we'll be like, so because we're continuously doing something or learning something, we are exhausted and we'll go off to sleep at a decent hour, rather than scrolling through our mobiles. So I think these are good ways to reduce screen time. What do you think, Preeti? Any inputs on this?
Yeah, no, so true. Like, so, and like I said, also, I think we should also set examples. So we should also do those things, right? Like, we should also involve them. We should, like, it can even be like small things like cleaning the house, cooking, or doing something, like involve the children also with you. So you're spending quality time doing things together, and both of you are away from the screen at the same time. So, yeah, I do agree with a lot of things that you said. And Rachana, I think you had your hand up. I think you have something to say.
Yes, good evening, both of you all. Since it is a very good topic which you all had brought up, so I would like to know, like, what is the thing what we can deviate the kids to make the screen time less? Like, I have my 10-year-old daughter. Yes, I've explained her everything, and now comparatively prior, what the amount of screen time she was using, it has reduced a lot. But now, what is option? Instead of mobile screen, she watches TV screens. So
Mm,
that is the thing. So what is, like, what can be done, because in her school is in the afternoon.
mm,
Okay, she wakes up at around 10 o'clock, and by the time she has a breakfast and everything, there's a time to go to school. And after she comes back in the evenings, she used to go down, but again then there are issues with the kids. You all don't play with this one and that one, that
mm,
groupism and all those things are there. and few kids they go to tuition, so by the time they come back it is night. So now the environment is also like that ki we cannot leave the kids also alone to play outside, so it has become such like that. So I wanted to know what are the options. Like I was thinking or putting in some dance class or piano class or violin class, something like that, which would be a hobby, become something for
Mm-hmm.
her entertainment, or side by side anything which she can learn, or deviate herself on that, because
Yeah,
I don't pressurize her on studies or anything.
yeah, like so basically, so like I kind of do the same thing with my kids. So I have a 4-year-old and a 13-year-old. So a lot of times, like they can't even do activities together because of their age difference, right? So,
Yes.
so mostly like I do also have like evenings they go to classes. Both of them like do taekwondo or my son's into music, so he plays instruments. So basically, like you said, try and find out like areas. If she's into music, then try and find her like music related classes, or if she wants to learn a sport, like if you can't send her down to go play with the kids in the same in the block, then maybe send her to like badminton coaching or football coaching, like whatever she's interested in, right? So there she will go play with kids, and of course that time she's taken away from the screen. And the same thing like Vijayshri said, like even the time she's watching something on the screen, see like evening, if that time you can take away from like household things and spend time with her, see what she is seeing. Like if it's not everything is bad, right? So if something is educational or something is nice or kids related programs, sit and watch with her. So that way you also bond with her, and then like offline, like she may even then talk to you about the program that she's watching and things, so you know what she's watching, you're aware of what she's being exposed to.
Yeah, definitely. Vijayshri, I would like to ask you, like, how as a parent we can deviate ourselves from the screen time? Because I think so. After I have taken a break, my screen time has increased a lot, provided when I was working.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I think one point where I would like to add is watching TV is much better than watching a mobile. So bigger screen is always better than a smaller screen. So
Okay.
because mobile is extremely addictive, you just have it in your hand and you will keep scrolling without even realizing. At least TV, it's on. You know that it's on, and you watch certain programs that you like. So yeah. So one is of course. Uh, See, okay, again, when you're saying that your screen time has increased after a break, I understand. Of course, it will increase because suddenly you're at home a lot more.
Mhm.
But it need not, if you're keeping yourself continuously engaged. And see, a lot of things are also conscious choices. Now, if I pick up my mobile, I don't know where the next 1 hour goes, because I'm like watching YouTube and then it'll recommend another channel, it'll recommend another program. So it keeps going on that way. So there is a way to either, if you're addicted and you find yourself wasting a lot of time, um, you can install apps which tell you how much you have watched through the day. So it'll actually tell you that you watched X number of hours more than last week, and you'll have that kind of apps available. The other thing is to keep your mobile consciously on. There are modes, I think, where you can just you don't have to. It'll not let you unless there's a call. It'll not let you scroll through it or go through it. So
No, the
unless
thing
there's a
is,
call.
if I'm not on my mobile, I might be on my laptop.
Okay. So again, if you're on your laptop, again, this is not a screen problem. If you're on your laptop and you are doing something which is, or you're learning something, it could be YouTube, but there are a lot of good things on YouTube. So YouTube by itself need not be bad. If you're watching, say, a National Geographic program, I can assure you it is not very addictive. It will not be as addictive as probably watching a serial or
Mhm.
some kind of a comedy show, probably. So what you watch is extremely important, and also to put a cap on how much you watch. Now that nobody can tell you, because even you could even be going to office and still come back and still wasting time. That is also possible. There are people whose TV is on 24 hours a day. Like, they get up in the morning, they'll start the TV, and then everything they're doing with the TV on. So that is also there. So so what I did, I can tell you that when I got up in the morning, I found myself not just on screen, but I was, wasting a lot of time, I felt. I went and joined a swimming class in the morning. I'm very scared of water. I never thought I would swim. 1 year later, I'm swimming very well. I mean, I'm swimming, not very well and all, but okay, I'm swimming. I can manage in water. So when I come back, I do other things, and then I am also tired. I'm also exhausted. I do my routine things. Even if I spend little time on mobile, it is okay. But I don't waste from morning. I know I have done something productive. I have other things to do going ahead. So when you're physically engaged, your time to get bored, your time to get on screen reduces by, by large amount. So I suggest keeping yourself physically engaged, and it's a conscious choice. It'll not happen by itself, because we automatically keep going to the screen. And we see that with our family members also. We may be practicing, but when we see our family members always on the mobile, it's a energy drain for us. But then you can't control others, you can only control yourself. So start with yourself. Probably others will get inspired from you.
Yeah, and like she said, like even as adults, right? Like we can also pick up hobbies, we can also pick up activities, right? So like even like when I was between jobs, that's what I did. So even now, I mostly work from home, and it's mostly on the computer. But still, like she said, morning once the kids are off to school, I go to Zumba classes now. So I went and joined Zumba classes. I'm doing something for my own fitness basically, and the same thing, right? So and I think one other thing that helped for me is when I don't have a 9 to 5 work to do and things. Initially, for a few months, I wrote myself a timetable and stuck it on the wall. So I'm like, this time to this time, this is what I'm doing. This time to this time, like I did account for like TV time or like doing things with at home, like even cooking from this time to this time. So evening when kids come, I'm available. So initially I had this timetable that I was following. So now it's like kind of become my habit. But then I felt like that was helpful for me also initially. So I know, okay, this time I should be doing this. Oh, 11 o'clock, so then I should get up and go do this. Otherwise, we'll aimlessly be scrolling and we won't even know how much time we spent on it.
Yeah, actually.
Vijayshri, you're on mute.
Oh, I am so sorry. So this is a checklist of things that I will do for the day. So I usually do this so that I have to finish as much I can from the checklist, so that so when you have that checklist of XYZ to be done, then you're automatically programmed to do that first, and then come back to whatever is your entertainment, whatever gives you entertainment. So I think that's a good way, because it's not just about not watching screen, right? It's also about being productive. So if you're first finish your tasks and then you watch your screen, who's stopping you? So that's something that we should also allow ourselves. It's not like completely banning screen or completely from 1 hour you're going to 5 minutes. It's not like that. But don't let it get in the way of your productivity. That's what I would like to say. So I think Preethi, probably you can continue, and we can take more questions later.
Yeah, and on the another thing is about even like devices. Why devices? Because we are all like, even as adults or children, we are all like very influenced by social media these days, and everybody wants to be on Facebook, everybody, all the younger generation all want to be on TikTok, and then it's kind of it's become an expectation, right? Like, and very unrealistic expectations, because what you see on social media is only the good side that they want to show. We don't really know what each of their lives are, and then we look at that and we're like, oh, this person has this, that person is doing so well, or this person has a great house, or like we look at these things and we start comparing ourselves and we feel, oh, we are not enough. So it's like yours, and the amount of likes or the amount of comments you get on social media is like directly linked to your own self-esteem. You use that to validate that, oh, I am good because I get so many likes, or so many people like me on Facebook. So and another thing is like, yes, they're like, if they are your offline friends who are also your online friends, it's a different thing. But then the amount of online followers or online friends, they are not actually your friends, right? Like, when you have an issue or a problem, they are not going to be there to help you. But then we link all of those to our own self-worth, which is a wrong thing. And another thing that the mostly like the teens and pre-teens these days are facing is also the cyberbullying, right? So their own classmates, or there are like people on social media who they call them names or like tell them things, and they tell them, oh, you're not doing this, you're bad at this, and they think all that is true. They accept all of it, and then like they lose interest in things that are actually good for them. They start self-doubting that they are bad. So that's a very bad influence we are having from social media these days.
I guess nowadays the empathy part is missing, and or the human touch, you can say.
Mhm.
During our times when we were friends, we used to talk about, discuss about like how is it, what is happening in our lives, in our families, what is the issue we are facing. So we used to convey the messages, and we used to say it will be okay, don't worry, don't. Nowadays, all those things are not there. It's only, I guess, media and that closeness towards each other is not there at all, I feel.
Yeah, that personal connect,
Yes,
that true relationship is not there.
yes,
Yeah. No, and you would have watched if you go to any restaurant or any public place, you will have four friends sitting, but all of them on their mobile. So
Mhm.
there is, you're in a group, but you're again separate. So that's a very common thing that we see. You will have the parents, a father, mother, the kids sitting, all three of them are on their mobiles, and uh, that's how unfortunately the world has become. So I think it's very important to teach kids that this life that Preethi was talking about, that the entire cyberbullying and social media, and there's so much of influence that kids have these days right from a very young age. So we have to teach them that that life is different from your real life. Have a real life, and that online presence can be a small part, but then your real life is your real life, and that is something that you have to uh, you know that has to be drilled down, because that is the life that you're leading, and that you have to work hard, you have to play, you have to do your regular life, and probably have a small to keep in touch with people, or to research things. You can have that social media presence, but then that real life, what is your online life and what is your real life, has to be completely demarcated. They should not blend in, and because that really causes havoc. We have to teach them what is privacy, what is private, what is public information, how to respect people in general, but also digitally. How do you respect people? Uh, how to not make mean comments, or sexist comments. These are all very important to teach children, which they of course have to apply in real life, but also in their online life. I mean, online presence. Um, and we have to teach them um, even if your kids are a little older and they want to follow certain people, certain influencers, for example, it is important to guide them. Now, again, I'm not saying that this will work completely, but it's very important to guide them to follow people who are actually providing value. And of course, I agree that there will be those teenage years which are going to be rebellious, which are going to be, difficult, and they will want to do their own thing. But as a family, if we follow positive people, positive influencers, then and generally have a positive, uh, you know, vibe around us, then uh, it's a matter of time before the child also picks it up. And I think they are going through that rebellious phase of wanting to follow XYZ, then let them. I mean, it's not possible to ban everything. If they don't do it in front of you, they'll do it behind you. So rather than banning things, I think it's important to guide them, uh, rather than being very authoritative about it. And uh, most important is our own digital habits. So when we sit with our mobile and keep scrolling, that's what the child sees. So children, there's a very important saying, I don't know, that children don't follow advice; they emulate your behavior. So they will do exactly what we do, even without being aware of it. They might want to be, and this is true for us also. We actually didn't want to be like a certain person, but we ended up being like that, because that kind of comes in without our being aware of it. So the more we uh, practice good behavior and respect to people and respect to our environment in general, the kids will pick it up. Maybe over a longer period of time, or maybe over the long term, but they will. So, Preethi, any inputs on this?
Yeah, so basically, yes, I do agree to the same things. And like what I basically do is, my son is that bordering teen, right? Just started his teenage years. And especially, so I live in Canada. So here, I feel like some of these things are more than it is in India. Because here, like from the time they get to grade 5 or 6 in school, the school gives them laptops. They have like, they use laptops for their education. They have Google Classroom set up for their subjects, and half of their homework itself is online, and half of it only, like, they do it manually with paper and pen. So they already have a device given by school. So, like, in fact, even from a school perspective, what happened is they realized the first year they gave them devices with basically no control, so the kids could have full control and do a lot of things. And they started accessing social media, and there were issues and things came out of that. And now they've realized, so now it's kind of completely locked for anything other than school purposes. They can't use it for anything else. So they have done that. So likewise, I feel like whether it is taekwondo classes or his math or whatever, like even if it's homework, like I try to involve myself as much as I can in all of his activities. Sometimes, like, of course, like I don't know anything about taekwondo other than seeing him do it, but then I would still go sit in his classes and see. Or if his school is going on, like, any trips or things, I give him a device only for camera purpose. I give him a phone which doesn't have a SIM card in it. So there are like some things I do like this. I'm like, okay, you want to take photos? Here, you can go use this. And within your school premises, yes, you can connect your school Wi-Fi, but then I know there are controls. You can't do things like outside of the what's allowed. So those places I would give him. And then, like, even that's one. And a lot of kids here, like from 6th, 7th, parents get them cell phones. So my son also was like, can I have a cell phone of my own? And I'm like, so then instead of outright telling him no, I try and have a conversation. I'm like, okay, why do you need a cell phone for? Like, what are the reasons? Okay, you want to talk to your friends? I'm like, use my phone. Anytime you want, here, you can take, call and speak to your friend. I'm okay with it, right? So I try to give him solutions for why he wants a phone. And I'm like, okay, so all these places now, problem solved. So you don't need a phone anymore. So I think it's like sometimes instead of outright telling them, when you outright tell them no, then they definitely want to do it, because then they're like, oh, okay, you're telling me no, then I will rebel, I will do the opposite. So I think it's more of us being more involved with them, trying to get them to do things, and and like, yeah, us basically being more aware of what's happening. I think that's the only way we can do, like, manage. And again, like she said, like, we be role models ourselves, so they learn from us. And I think Rajni has her hand up.
Yeah, just wanted to ask, like my 8-year-old keeps saying that if I ask him to do something, he'll straight away say no. And I'm kind of a lenient like a parent. I don't understand how to handle that.
Like, my only suggestion might be, or the way I kind of do it with my kids is, instead of telling them, okay, go do your homework, I'm like, okay, bring your homework, let's see what it is. So it's more of a let's do it together approach than you go do something by yourself. And maybe that might help. And or like, if you're asking them to do something, like, tell them why you want them to do it, so they maybe understand and then do it.
Yeah.
No, he understands actually everything, and I generally ask kids first, like, okay, let's do it this way, and I ask for their. I don't like command them. I generally ask them like how we can do this. So still, like at times, like if I, let's say, okay, let's finish it first, and then you go for screen, or then you go for playgrounds. And straight away, no, I'll not do this. I'm busy in another thing. He's playing at home first, and then he's going to the playground. So if I'll say no, in between you have to finish your homework, or in between we have to study, then there'll be a clear cut no, no, I'm not doing it.
No, I think, and also I think it's I have an almost 11-year-old, and sometimes you just have to stop telling them. At some point you have to say that I'm not going to tell you. You please do, and face the consequences of your action. So, and
That's what
that's,
I'm.
that's what my son's teacher tells us, all the parents. Don't push them to do the homework. If they don't
Mhm.
do, um, then they'll have to come and face me. And
Mhm.
they might rebel for a while, but then once they have to face me, they'll start doing it by
That,
themselves.
that
So
that's happening actually. What happened? Like he got his exams, and I keep telling him like to do it, and then he didn't knew few questions in the exam. Then he was blaming me that you didn't taught me. Then I told him that I kept telling you, come, let's read this, let's do it, that let's finish it. And you said I know everything. Actually, he's a good student and he knows most of the things. But I asked him to practice, write, so that there's no confusion. He came back and he scolded me that it's all because of you. I couldn't attempt one or two question, whatever. But still, again, if I ask today, like let's prepare for tomorrow's exam, he'll say no, no, I don't want to do it now. So I left him. Like I told him that I won't interfere in between your studies. Whenever you ask me to help you, I'll do that. But when I'm scared, like, is it good?
I feel a little bit of sternness we need to have in certain places as parents. I guess particularly with regards to their studies. When it comes to my daughter's case, I am like, see, next month this date is your exams. So at least 1 or 2 weeks before you need to start studying. Either you have to write in your exams and you need to get good marks. That is up to you, because at the end moment it is not possible for you to study everything, mug up everything and write in your exams. So I guess you need to put a boundary or something for that, and
No,
at
no.
times you need to be a
As I
bit
mentioned,
stern also.
like he's a good student. I understand well, a sharp child. But if he doesn't want to write, the problem is. So whenever I'll ask him, let's write it, and we have to write to learn it properly, or to check our mistakes or to check if we're good with the spellings, they straight away say no, no, I don't want to.
I think that's,
Otherwise, he's a good student.
yeah, and that's also a phase. When they know they are responsible for something, uh, and as long as we keep pushing, and this is something we all learn the hard way, right? Nothing comes in, we also make a lot of mistakes. And so sometimes we just have to let go, and we have to concentrate on our own well-being, because the more we stress about others, nothing is going to change. Only we'll get stressed, and that will affect our health, mental and physical. And somewhere, put yourself first. I know it's very hard, but put yourself first.
Yeah, we keep
It's
thinking,
not,
I guess, they are what going to write in the exams, what
True, true.
answers will be writing.
because you
Yeah,
can't.
many times,
Yeah,
many times, like
can't
we are
afford.
more stressed than them. We are more worried than them for their exams or their competitions when they come. But I think, yeah, like I also agree that, like after a point, it's also phase. They'll also figure it out after a while. But then, like gentle reminders, nudges, but then after a point, like put it on them, like leave the onus on them, tell them that even if they say like want help with a topic or something, they should be the one coming and asking you, like, Amma, teach me this. Then you tell them, then you help them. Like otherwise, like if we keep pushing too much, after a point, they'll be like, no, I won't do it. And as much as we want them to do and we are worried about it, we'll only be worrying. Like we can't really change the fact also.
And we can only influence, we can never control. That's
Yeah.
something that we have to understand. And I have not, and although I'm saying this, I don't, it's very hard to practice it in real life, that things are beyond our control. There are very few things in our control, in our own control, which we can do. That is, things about ourselves we can control. Things, anything about others, whether it's a spouse, our child, our parents, or anybody, even our close
Mhm.
family, our friends, our colleagues, whoever it is, are out of our control. They will do it, and this all comes down to free will. They
Yeah.
will do it when they think it is right to do it, not because our forcing or our controlling or our nagging them. So it is, at some point we have to say that what I'll do, what is in my area of control, I will do, which is work on myself. Nothing else is in our control. We can, however, influence.
Yeah.
Influence always
And I
works better
think
than.
it's
We
also,
can only guide our kids, not
yeah.
other than that. That's it.
No, and I think it's also this generational thing, right? Like I feel like back when, at least to some extent, we'll be like, okay, we listen to our parents. We had that thing that to some extent, at least we will try and do what they're asking us. Maybe not 100%, but
Yes.
we'll still do it. But
Now,
now,
kids says,
nowadays,
wait, I will
kids are
tell
like,
you, I don't want to do, I will
yeah,
not
now
do.
they're like, why should I do it? They are not doing it. Or some other family is doing it this way. So why can't I do it this way? So now from a very young age they have a mind of their own. They'll question everything. They want to know whys for everything. So yeah, it's a difficult thing though.
I think, Preeti, you probably didn't. Will you change the screen? The next one.
uh,
Yeah, this is, I think, what you were talking about.
yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so from that conversation I think I went into this. So yeah, so like I was saying, it's like like this generation now, they have access to media, they know a lot of things, they're exposed to a lot of things at a very young age than like us or like the previous generation used to be. So now, like I said, like even for my son, it's like, oh, everybody in my class has a cell phone, so why can't I, right? So it's like whether it's clothing or devices or like the most fanciest next gadget that's available, they're like, oh, like my friend has it, so I also want it. So it's that comparison, that wanting to do it. And also in some cases it's that academic pressure also, right? Okay, I have an exam, I have a competition, I have this. And in many cases kids go to like social media, go to devices as a way of de-stressing or as a way of taking their mind away, like from that coming exam or coming competition or thing that they have. Another thing is like kids influence each other, like even to do risky behaviors or like to do some things online. They're like, hey, I dare you to do this, or I want you to do this. And they feel like, oh, if I don't do it, I don't fit in with this group. What will they think about me? They will think I am scared. So just to prove their friends wrong, they even are willing to do wrong things or risky things. So that's this the peer pressure, comparison. That this is there everywhere, and for kids, they they are not mature enough to handle these things and understand, and these things can lead them the wrong way. You're on mute.
Yeah, so it ultimately, see, why do we bow down to peer pressure? And this is again not just for kids, even adults, even grown-ups. We bow down to peer pressure so many times. We want people to think well of us. We want to show that we belong, uh, and that is something that we also, unknowingly pass on to our children, that you are not good enough because this person is doing better than you. um, that is there everywhere. That's there in grown-ups, and that comes on to children. And children usually are not bothered. It somewhere comes down, that message comes down that you're not good enough. And I think that's very important to drill in ourselves first, and then our children, that we are enough. We are good the way we are. We can of course build, ourselves. We can always be better people, but we are good. We are good the way we are. So that's something that needs to be uh, drilled down, uh, followed by us, and also uh, you know told to our children. And that's something that the children will emulate from us. um, Second is, there is a lot of, we have to also teach and follow that saying no is okay. No is okay. If you don't want something, saying no is okay. uh, if you'd rather not go to a party, don't force yourself. Say no, even if it means being uncool. If you'd rather not do something, uh, say no. It's okay. You're not being less, whatever. uh, you don't belong less because you're saying no. So I think that is something that we all need to practice. And sometimes we cave into things because we want to please people, and the same thing the child will. So whenever we do any action, we have to always consider what effect it's having on the next generation. Like, are they picking up my bad habits, or are they picking up my poor behavior? And what are we giving to the world? That's something we have to ask ourselves.
I
uh,
guess
Third is,
acceptance is very much important. Like we should make them aware that even if they have made mistake, that is fine. They need to come to us and tell what has happened exactly, so that we are there for them to guide. So I guess that is very much important
absolutely, it's very
today,
important.
today's time.
So also we have to always always praise efforts. Don't uh, always look at result. Okay, so what if you put in effort, ultimately you came 10th, or whatever, last in class. um, Always put in the effort, because everybody is not designed the same way. Everybody's brain is wired differently. So a person can put in effort but not get the same result as someone else. And that's something that, uh, you know raising children is actually raising ourselves in a way, because what we tell children is what we have to tell ourselves. It's very important that we be better people. What we Because we always think, no, I couldn't do this, so my son or daughter has to do it. That. So the question is, why are we not like that? Why, as grown-ups, why aren't we able to work on ourselves, to change ourselves? And the kids will automatically get that good behavior. So it is actually raising ourselves rather than our children. And of course, there are modern challenges, but we have to actually work on ourselves. And this is something that we have to, everything. Children challenges actually come a lot down to parenting, because um, our behavior is only shaping kids. So if we are behaving well, if we are generally a very loving and giving kind of family, kids do become like that. If we instill confidence, if we are confident ourselves, the kids will definitely become confident. Um, and this is not telling that you have to be confident. No, but I will not take up any challenge. I will, I am only going to do my routine work, but you will have to take up challenge. That doesn't work. So it's we always have to praise effort. If you're putting in effort, I'll praise you. It's about participating. A lot of times we hear, that participation is important. That's the first step. Whether you come first or not, depends on a lot of things. But praise the effort, and encourage positive peer groups, because peers become very important in any child's life, and also in grown-ups lives. Peers are very important. They form a very big part of who we are. So that's what they always say, that you are the sum total of the 5 people that you connect with, or are constant contact. So if those 5 people are negative kind of people, we become like negative. If they are extremely positive, extremely challenge oriented people, then we start thinking like that. So we have to encourage positive peer groups for our kids also. So encourage, if they have good friends, call them home, arrange meetings. Sorry, there is a lot of firecrackers here. So Preethi, you carry on.
Yeah, so to the same points that Vijayshri was saying, right? Like the only thing we can do is we can follow a lot of these things ourselves. So then they look at us and emulate what we are doing. And mainly, like especially build their confidence. Like, and from an academic point of view or something, like not everybody is good in math. Somebody may be good in math, somebody else might be actually good in art. So encourage them like to find out what they are good at, their uniqueness, and guide them to bring more of that out, instead of saying no, you have to fit within this box, everybody has to do the same thing. No, like everyone is unique, you all have different skills. So try help them identify those different skills and help them bring out more of those. And also like as parents also, sometimes we tend to compare, like if there are siblings or if there is a friend's kid around the same age, you're like, oh, did you see like her daughter got first, or did you see this happen? So I think some of those things, like as parents, we should also be like a little more careful and conscious on what we are saying, because we shouldn't be comparing, because there may be something that kid is good at, but then your kid is good at something else. So we also should start identifying those things. And like she said, we should praise the amount of effort or the dedication that they show towards something, rather than just the results and saying, okay, which rank did you get or which position did you come in the competition, but then what did you do to get there? Like, did you? And sometimes like on some occasions I tell my kids also, right, like even when they feel bad after a competition that they have not come first or they have not done what they were expecting to, I'm like, did you do better than what you did yesterday? So your benchmark should be yourself, not somebody else. Improve from
Always
what you were
highlight the
yesterday.
positive side of them.
Yeah. So like have yourself as a benchmark. So if you did this much yesterday, try to do a little more than that today. Don't compare yourself with like whoever is the best in that in your class or in your school or whatever. So I think those are some things that as parents we should also help them and basically build their confidence. And so basically in total, like yes, as parents, we would love to spoon feed them as much as possible, love to be there with them for everything as much as possible. But then there are limitations to it. We are not there with them everywhere, and we cannot be there with them everywhere. So, and we can't shield them from everything good and bad in the world. So, the only thing we can do is to equip them. So, give them those values, teach them, make them aware, build their confidence, and always be that support system right behind them. That, like, um, I think Rachana was saying, right? Like, even if they do something wrong, they should have the confidence that, okay, I can come back and tell my mother, I can come back and tell my father, and they will understand, they will support me and not just blankly find fault with me. So they should have that confidence in us that they can come to us for anything. So I think it's basically just building them, building ourselves in the process, and basically learning and emulating like what we want them to do, or the rules we want them to follow, or what we want them to do it ourselves, so that we become their role models and they can follow the way we are doing.
So again, what takeaways we have from this discussion? Of course, we should have a balance, not completely banning, set boundaries. Uh, there should be awareness. There should be conversations about social media. We have to guide them. Uh, what you can do, what you can't do, what kind of social media is still okay, like, and what is completely out of bounds. How much time we spend on, and the quality of content that we view, as an entire entire family, and try teach and build confidence and resilience in children, because a lot of things happen because we want to belong to some group or some kind of community, and when we are not able to belong, it brings in depression, it brings in a negative sense of there's no, what do you call, uh, sense of worth, where you believe that you're always trying to catch up with others, that you're not able to, they're always better in some way. Maybe they have more money, they may be more cooler, there could be so many things, but we have to uh, continuously tell our children that this is who we are, and this is enough, I am enough. That's something that we have to work on ourselves every day. Yeah. So anything else, Preethi?
No, I think you covered most of it. So
Yeah. So I think we have Kanchan, Rajni, Alikya. Any thoughts?
yeah, any thoughts, like any additional suggestions or any specific issues that you want to discuss? Anything?
Almost all you have covered. Both are like the session is very good. Actually, usually I won't join in the daytime, right? We are occupied with some other sessions and all. I'm happy to joining here today.
Yeah. Thanks, Alikya.
Just
Thanks.
thought of like giving you the host access, and we have logged out already at 6 o'clock only, but only for the purpose of giving you the host access, I have joined. But this, I'm in the session also. Even as a parent, even I felt the same. Whatever you have shared, right? Very nice session, very nice. And I'm very proud and very happy that seeing my candidates, like our cohort candidates, are taking a session like this, and all. It's an achievement. Very nice, both of you.
Thanks, Alikya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good support, and yeah, I think since Preethi is in Canada time, we have to schedule after 6 p.m. So
Okay. Oh, that's the reason. Okay.
Yeah, it's 9:30 for me here.
Oh, okay. Good.
yeah.
Okay, then we'll wrap up for today.
Yes. Thanks. Thank you,
Thank you.
Rajni. Thank you, Alikya.
Thank you.
Thanks, Preethi.